Coming to you live from inside the Congress Center, which is the epicenter of all the action here at the World Economic Forum's annual summit in Davos. So far, the conversations that you've seen and heard on CNBC-TV18 have been centered around the global economy, around what President Trump may or may not do, what tariffs will do to global growth, and of course, how India is positioned. We're going to take a little bit of a detour from that and talk about something that's equally important. In a world fraught with uncertainty, volatility, and strife, where can we find hope? Because it's not clearly being found in boardrooms or with government officials. Perhaps there is reason for us to find hope and comfort in art. And joining me today is a TED speaker and an award-winning artist. Thijs, many thanks for joining us here in Davos. It's great to have you.
Yeah, it's an honor.
It's your work here on display. And what's interesting about this is that you use scientific data and your imagination to address the crises that the world is faced with. Explain to our viewers what this is about.
So this is Forest State, and Forest State takes that abstract data of how much forests are disappearing around the globe, and it brings it back to this digital forest.
Okay.
So every leaf that you can see here disappearing, it's around 128 square meters of rainforest or normal forest being cut down right now.
And this is real-time data?
This is real-time data.
Okay.
So every flickering that you see is 128 square meters going. Now the positive, the hopeful spin to it is that when they're coming back, you can see that the deforestation is happening, but the reforestation and the projects that governments put in place, they actually work. So you can see the work slowly coming back as well. I think you're seeing that balance between the two, that is magic to me, because it makes that abstract data, that abstract science come to life, speak to the imagination,
and become accessible to people. But you know, this business of combining art with data, what made you want to travel this path? What made you want to take this journey?
Well, my biggest frustration is that the data is really clear. The scientists know all the solutions, but we're not moving fast enough. So how do we do that? And facts don't move people, emotions do. And I think that's the part where we can work with art. Because art is the power of emotion. Art helps us imagine things. And if we can take that science and we visualize it in a way that it actually can speak to our imagination, that's the moment we start acting. Because most of the movements, most of the policy changes, everything happens not only by the science, not only by the facts or the policies, but also by the emotions. And I think that's the part why this is now central at the heart of the web, because they want to make that same statement where they know we need the emotions in all these discussions, because otherwise everything happens in another boardroom.
Yes, because people matter and people have to be at the heart of the decisions that have been taken in rooms like this one.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really weird because you can see people going into and talk about nature, conservancy, protecting the planet. And they talk about the spreadsheets, but the moment they stand here, they connect with why it matters, what they do. I think that emotional bondage that you create, that's the part that art, poetry, writers, narrative makers, journalists, everybody can make. That's the part that we need right now.
So this particular installation, which is really at the heart of the World Economic Forum's Congress Center, how long did it take for you to put this together, and why specifically this idea of showcasing what was happening with our forests?
Yeah, so with us, with the Woven Foundation, we've been working for the last half year, day and night, with the whole team to craft the piece, to bend the steel, to make everything. And
so this is made out of steel?
It's made out of recycled steel, it's made out of recycled leaves, but at the same time we have the coders getting in the data, programming it in a way that it reflects really what's going on with the real-time satellite data. And the beauty is when it all comes together, right? When you see, like, you turn the work on for the first time, like, oh, this is amazing. It tells the story so well. And then you bring in your daughter.
What was your feeling when you first saw the lights go on?
No, I mean, I saw the data, so I was already a bit shocked. But the moment I brought in my daughter, I said, like, hey, look at this. This is how fixed forests are disappearing and reappearing. She got it. So if young kids and heads of state, they both understand the message of the work, I think that's the moment I'm doing my work right. And that's the part that I think we need, that slice of humanity back into the conversation.
You know, we're talking about, as I pointed out at the start, economic challenges, climate crises, and so on and so forth. But perhaps, and I'm picking this up from what you say, we're also faced with a communication challenge. We have all of the data, we perhaps even have the solutions, we just don't know how to communicate them to people.
Yeah, and I think, so how I always phrase it is like we're not only into a political crisis, a climate crisis, a biodiversity crisis, but we are in an imagination crisis. And I think that's the part where it can be done by art. We can help you speak to the imagination, show where we're going, show how we can move to a better thriving planet. Stay within the boundaries, because it's storytelling, because we are moved by stories, we are moved by emotions. I mean, society doesn't move by facts, they move by emotions. So for me, having this piece here as a little campfire almost, where people can sit around and have that conversation, I think that's the pinnacle to overcome that imagination crisis.
You know, you talked about the imagination crisis. A lot of the time here at the World Economic Forum is going to be spent talking on AI, and I wonder what you make of the so-called magical transformative powers of AI, because while AI we know can hallucinate, we don't know if it can imagine.
No, but I think we have to be really clear. It cannot imagine. It works on what has happened. And its predictive values are half hallucinations. And in that sense, I think it's not a tool for art, it's a tool for predicting, and it's a tool to measure how can we restore the forests, what is the economic value there, where can we have our investments placed, and what biodiversity pockets need to grow to get a healthy planet. And AI is perfect for that. But to move people to actually do that, then you need the humanity again. So I think that collaboration is nice.
I know you've been to India and you visited different parts of India. What was it like for you traveling through India from Hampi to Dharamshala? What did that experience teach you?
I loved, when I'm from Europe.
Yes.
So for me this would be 28 countries.
In one country.
in one country.
In one country.
So that's such a hard
the European
question.
Union in one country.
Exactly. Well, even bigger and even more differences. But I think what resonated the most for me was the amount of craft, the amount of communication that wasn't written down, but that was visual. So everybody can understand, everybody can relate, just like what we're doing here. And what I really enjoyed is the diversity and how people respected their environment. So when you're in Hampi, you can be in a more desert-like environment, which is maintained. But when you move into the mountains in Dharamshala, there's the same mentality of having a direct relationship with its surroundings. And I think as a European, that's a bit less, where we don't have that connection. And that's something I've learned while traveling there. And that's something I also imply in my work. Like, okay, what do I actually feel? How can I get that feeling, combine it with the science, and then make it in a language that everybody understands? Like, it's an equality of knowledge that will drive us.
So in a way, you're not making art accessible, you're making challenges accessible to people so that they can understand some of this in a simple way.
I think how I see it, I make science accessible and relatable and personal. Because if you see how quick it goes, it makes it personal. And if you see something, it becomes really hard to deny it. And that the only thing you can do is take action on it. So for me, the most interesting thing of this is it's not simplification. It's taking the thing out of all the data, all the science. It's like, these are the emotional triggers. If we make that bigger, I can understand it. Young audiences can understand it. Heads of states can understand it. And that's the moment you can drive the imagination of millions.
And perhaps find a breakthrough as well. Is there a next piece that you're already working on?
Oh, we're working on so many pieces, from mangroves to glaciers with violinists to deep space, where we talk about how fragile the life is on Earth. So we do projects with the World Health Organization, with UNESCO, with different universities all over the place, just to get the science into the world. And most of the time it's focused on biodiversity, planetary health, everything that makes us thrive. Because those are, if you go to the trend reports of the World Economic Forum, in 10 years, the most urgent issues.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely, around climate, and may not seem very topical today, or at
No.
least not top of mind today, but of course those are going to continue to be the big pressing issues that that humanity is faced with
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
next decade or so.
yeah, they acknowledged it. I was really happy it was in that top 3.
Yeah.
So in the top 5, there were 4 that were biodiversity and climate related. I think that's not for nothing.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much
much
for taking us through the story behind the work that's here at the World Economic Forum. Live data telling you what is happening with our planet when we talk about felling of trees, deforestation, but at the same time reforestation. And that tells you the story of where we must find hope. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
And have a great Davos. We
You
will
too.
take a break here and be right back with you. Stay tuned to CNBC-TV18. The conversations, the headliners will continue here at the World Economic Forum's annual summit.